Hey, I'm a top 100 Beat Saber player. I have over 2,000 hours on the game and I've played it on 9 different headsets. The short answer is no. Unfortunately, the PSVR2 is not good for Beat Saber. But for the long answer, watch the whole video or skip through the chapters if you're impatient. Enjoy!
Meta VR headsets are fantastic. If you want a good headset, just buy Quest 3. If you're on a budget, get a used Quest 2. And for only $300, the Quest 3S is a fantastic middle ground. But all these options, they kinda suck. Not only do they require you to sell your soul to the Zuck, but they're all standalone headsets. If you want to use them for PCVR, you'll have to deal with awful performance, instability, reduced image quality, and a higher latency. If you want a proper native PCVR headset, your only choices are either old and bad or extremely expensive. Now that the PlayStation VR2 is officially compatible with PC, could it be the affordable, high-quality VR headset I've always been looking for? Let's find out. I bought the adapter and the used PCVR2 headset for the equivalent of a little over $400. Included in this price are many very cool and unique features. You've got adaptive triggers like on the PS5 controllers, HDR displays, a headset rumble, and eye tracking. But none of these unique features are available once you're connected to a PC. Honestly, this adapter is kind of a ripoff. For $60, you've still got to get your own DisplayPort 1.4 cable and your own Bluetooth adapter for the controllers. Your built-in Bluetooth probably won't work. Getting a stable Bluetooth connection to these controllers is a whole mess I won't get into in this video. At least if you have Virtual Link port on your GPU, which very few GPUs have, you don't need to buy the adapter, you can just connect the headset straight into your GPU. My first impression is that this headset feels cheap. It's very plasticky and the head strap is a little loose. Not a deal breaker, but I expected better. The head strap is Halo style, the whole weight lies on your forehead with none of it resting on your face, and the padding is a bit too firm for my liking. This kinda sucks for comfort, but the upside is that it leaves space where the face cushion would be for the best light blocker of any headset I've ever tried. There is no light leak at all. The displays have a very high resolution and the field of view is even higher than what you'd see on Quest 3 or Valve Index. They can get very bright, which is something I've never realized I even wanted in Beat Saber. And they can run at either 120 or 90 Hz. The OLED displays make dark scenes, which are very common in Beat Saber, look very good. However, these OLED panels unfortunately have a mirror effect. When looking at blank scenes, you can sort of see a static screen of noise over the virtual world. But this isn't usually an issue when playing because the mirror effect doesn't stand out in most scenes, and you usually won't find it unless you're really looking for it. For me, the real issue is that the PSVR2 still uses Fresnel lenses. Like all other headsets using these lenses, there's a small sweet spot that looks good and the rest of the image is unclear with chromatic aberrations and blur. It looks better than any other headset that uses the Fresnel lenses like the Quest 2, but looks worse than Quest 3. Another lesser known issue with these lenses is that their anti-glare coating is very sensitive. You should be very careful when cleaning them because even with a dry microfiber cloth, rubbing a little too hard could rub the anti-glare coating off the lenses. In fact, my used headset has a damaged anti-glare layer, which means it is all blurry. So look out for it when buying used and don't make the same mistake I did. And here's what the mic sounds like. It's pretty clear, but I think the Quest 2 mic sounds better. While we're on the topic of sound, let's talk about the earphones. They clip on very neatly and are very convenient, but their sound is pretty bad with mediocre clarity and very exaggerated bass. If you have better earphones lying around, you can connect them to the audio jack just fine. Now we can continue to the most interesting section, the controllers. These sick-looking controllers are tracked by the cameras on the headset. The infrared tracking LEDs on the controller are spread out evenly throughout the white plastic sections of the controllers. And they are charged using this Type-C port. Due to the massive size of the control ring, they are kinda heavy and have awful weight distribution. The center of weight is very low, which combined with the awkward shape of the handle and the way the rings rub against my wrists, makes me shy away from using default grip. Unsurprisingly, claw grip doesn't work as the ring is in the way. I found M-grip to work surprisingly comfortably, giving me a tight grip on the controllers, but it doesn't quite solve the weight distribution issue. For that I have invented the brand new non-grip. I hope I didn't just rename an existing grip, but this is what I've found. I grip the bottom of the handle, which isn't as comfortable as M-grip, but it balances out the controller's uneven weight. Now let's try these controllers out in-game. Alright, now that we're in-game, we can test these controllers and my grip. So we'll get into this map. So far so good. I'm getting decent tech considering I'm not used to these controllers. But right now... yeah, that was not just because I suck at speed. You will notice that the way the sabers move when I hit these jumps looks very weird. and I'm underswinging basically every note, missing many. The reason speed is so hard on this headset and resulted in such underswings is actually because these controllers have motion smoothing. If I just move my controller up and down with my wrist only, you'll notice it moves in a very weird way, unlike any other VR controller. Now I know for a fact that Sony can fix this issue, because now if I switch back into the game from pass-through and keep making the same motion with the controller, you'll notice that for a split second, it didn't have the weird wobbliness. For a brief moment when switching from pass-through back into your game, your controller tracking will be completely normal, before the controller smoothing is turned back on and it's unusable in speed. We can turn on predictions in Steam VR and it helps with the underswing. I'm now on 2 ticks of predictions at 120Hz, but now my swings look like this. I will now not have as much underswing, but my swings are awfully wobbly. This headset is still fine for AC, but when it's so unusable at only 300 BPM linear jumps, I cannot recommend it for any kind of competitive Beat Sabering. It will simply be unusable. The PSVR2 is a decent PCVR headset, but right now it is not the right choice for those looking to play Beat Saber. Even if you already own a PSVR2, you'd be better off buying a second headset just for Beat Saber. Unless you're a casual player, in which case it's usable. I hope Sony hears our cries and fixes the weird controller tracking. Then I'd be able to recommend the PC Adapter to anybody who already owns a PSVR2. But if you're looking to buy your first headset, don't go for the PSVR2. These controllers are straight up bad for Beat Saber compared to any other headset. Well, maybe except for Vive. Getting a stable Bluetooth connection to these controllers is just as frustrating as dealing with Quest Link. You'd be better off buying a Quest 3. It is similar in price and is in my opinion still the best headset for Beat Saber, at least of those I've played on so far. Anyone want to buy me a Pimax Crystal Light? Actually, if you do, the way to do that would be supporting me on Patreon. Check out all these awesome people who have already subscribed. I would have never bought the PSVR without the support I get from my patrons. You're the ones making these videos possible. And man, making this video was a ride. I rarely make these high effort videos, but I have a lot of fun when I do. I've spent way too many hours filming and editing this video, but I've learned a lot and my next high effort video will be even better, especially if I can get a Pimax Crystal Light. I want the video to be 8 minutes long so I can run mid-roll ads, so let's do this very quick improvised tier list. Quest 1 easily goes into D tier. 72Hz is so bad, I hate it. Then I guess the Vive Cosmos Elite can also go alongside it. It is native PCVR, but it is so shaky and the Vive ones are terrible. Then in the C tier, I think we can put the Quest Pro. It is a pretty good headset, but the comfort is just horrible. I guess Rift Test is also about as bad as Quest Pro. It is too shaky and 80Hz and I just hate it. In B tier, I think that's a great place for the CV1. It's very old and outdated, but it's still so good for Beat Saber. The only reason it isn't an S tier is because controller tracking isn't perfect on it. In S tier, I think we can place both the Valve Index and the Quest 3. They're both just perfect for Beat Saber, but Quest 3 could have been just a triple S tier if it was native PCVR. Into A tier, I'll put All Reliable Quest 2, everybody likes it, and PSVR 2, I'm sorry, I think you need to go into D tier. You know what, looking at it again, I think we can put the Quest Pro in B tier, and I'll leave the Rift S here. Let me know if you want me to make this a full-length video with actual explanations for my decisions. Alright, goodbye now.